Hello and welcome to my new home and back to Chareads. I haven't had a stable place to live since like May, so it's really nice to have all of my possessions around me again, but there is a problem. This room is 3 flights up a terrace house, and if you've seen any of my videos before, you know my bookshelves are like these really thick, chunky MDF like giant staples. They are heavy as anything, and I decided when I was moving out of my old flat and putting them in storage that I never wanted to move them anywhere ever again. So the other week, me and the guy that was helping me move into here had a great time smashing them to smithereens in the car park of a big yellow self-storage. It was a highlight. That was all well and good, but it has resulted in that. That's just a lot of books against a wall. Not ideal situation, but I'm taking this as an opportunity to redesign and build a new bookshelf. So there are 3 criteria. First one, I get to make it. I try and make stuff quite often, and then my dad is just like, I employ people that could do this better than you and for free, so I just go with that. But this time, I'm making it. 2, I want it to be something that doesn't kill me trying to carry up 3 flights of stairs. And 3, I want it to last quite a long time. And by that I mean I want it to be kind of adaptable to whatever situation I'm in and what kind of possessions I have. I was looking around for inspirations for this bookshelf, and I very quickly realised I'm just not a carpenter. I have 0 skills in joinery. I have very few tools for carpentry. So I decided the solution for that was to use a CNC router to cut the wood. For all intents and purposes, in this situation, CNC router is just like a giant laser cutter, but for wood. So you can design something digitally and then just like have it cut out wood. I found this really cool shelf on Instructables, which was inspired by this really fancy designer shelf. And I realized that kind of mechanism of like slotting would be perfect for me because I can carry it around in parts and I can swap out the shelves whenever I want to. These are vertical examples, obviously, but I have like a long kind of low wall. So this is the design I came up with. And if you're interested, this is what it looks like when it's on 3 giant sheets of plywood. I've kind of broken my first criterion because I am not CNCing this myself. I know I could because I have access to CNC routers, but just the idea of like having to transport massive pieces of wood, I don't have the capacity for that. So because that's a big hassle, I outsourced that. And today, this morning, anytime now, all of my pieces of wood are going to arrive. And then we go to step 2. Okay, delivery man has just delivered wood. He has left it on the ground floor. So it's time for me to bring all the pieces up here. Oh God. Oh my God. I need some water. I totally forgot that I also had like quite a bit of extra room on the sheet, so I made some little stands for like monitors. I think this makes sense. So yay! I made like 2 of these at different heights. Step 1, complete. Step 3 is like sanding and varnishing, and that's the one that's going to take a lot of time and energy. But before that, step 2, which is the scariest step, is making sure they actually fit together. So all of this wood is 18 mils thick, right? But since I have to slot it into each other, I can't just make the gaps 18 mils because it'll be really tight, and I couldn't be bothered to get a test piece done. And there's not a lot of good information out there on like what kind of threshold you should leave it as. So I decided to make the gaps 19 mil, which I thought was like large enough that they'll definitely slot into each other, but hopefully not so wide that there's like so much of a gap that it like tilts. Now is the moment of reckoning. I may also find out now that I've gotten a lot of measurements wrong. I hope not, I checked it a lot, but who knows. Putting together the whole shelf and then taking it apart and varnishing it and then putting it back together again sounds like too much of an effort. So what I'm going to do instead is that I also got a bedside table made in the same style. I'm just going to put that together, see how it stands out. Ta-da! Yay! Fuck, that's not good. Admittedly, I'd rather have it this way than be too tight because sanding is a pain in the butt. Maybe once I put together the whole bookshelf, it'll have like more of a rigid structure and therefore not be as wavy. But also I can make like wedges to tighten the join. And the wedges would only have to be at the back because the front ones will only affect like that, which I don't care about. But you know, this was an experiment. You know, things can't go amazingly first time. I think I really like this. So I think I'm gonna make more furniture in this style. Like I have a lot of storage boxes that need shelves, so I can just like tighten up the threshold then. It's all good. If there is one like actual carpenter that watches this video, they're gonna be horrified with me. As mentioned, next step is sanding and varnishing. I don't have the stuff for that yet. It's gonna be delivered at some point today. But one problem is I have to do that somewhere, and sanding makes like the most mess ever. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take everything over there, all that stuff, and put it over here. And then I'm gonna take this big dust sheet I have and lay it out over there, because that's like a big empty space, and hopefully contain the sanding to that area of the room. Getting there, so bit more. So now that area is really clean, and this, I don't think I can get into my room anymore. Okay, so now I have this big empty space, and I have a dust sheet, and I have a box of wooden blocks. The idea is lay out a dust sheet, put all of the things on the blocks, and then wait until I can varnish it. Slight concern / major concern is that my whole room gets covered in dust. I'm planning on not sanding that much. To be honest, I haven't looked into what I'm supposed to do in terms of like how much I sand it compared to varnishing. But considering I spent quite a bit on this, I may as well do it as right as I can. I don't really know how to go about protecting the rest of my room. Like, I think I'm gonna take my duvet out to the stairs, and I think everything else is just gonna have to struggle, and I'll just hoover up as much as I can after. So now I've got some water-based clear varnish and some really cool headphones, but I'm now the owner of a power sander. Hello, it is a new day, and all of the first layer of varnish has dried, and now it's time for me to sand down all the pieces. I think I'm only going to do the second layer of varnish on the top surfaces and the edges, because it took so damn long. Not the most stable thing ever. It's a little bit tilted. I'm gonna work on that. But I made it, and it's there. It's massive. It's so cool to just have like an idea and then just play with a computer and then end up with this. I'm so happy with this. And my bedside table. It's already perfect. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you at some point in the future. Tiny little postscript update. I used my old bedside table and made two things. One is like a staple, and one's just the exact size of a single like 1x1 shelf in here, so that I can use them to reinforce the shape, because this can just fit in, and then I can put this at the back of one on the other side, which kind of holds it in instead of pushes it out. And now everything's straight apart from me. I'm pretty straight, but I just made a good joke. Bye.